You could kind of see your tummy.
No, I want to take away my dumbest.
Oh, no.
Take away the dumbest. I'm going to be like this.
That was
all right,
good.
guys. Thank you. I know, but let's do it again. I got it.
It was a teenage wedding and the old folks wished him well. You could see that Pierre did truly love the mademoiselle.
Hey, what's up, guys? Benji and Anthony here, and welcome to the bar for our Throwback Thursday review of
Pulp Fiction. Came out in 1994 when you were like, what, 2 years old?
4 years old.
You
well,
were 4?
What month? I don't know, but I was 4 years old.
Yeah, it came out in 1994. It's directed by the great Quentin Tarantino. It was written and directed by him.
Yeah, and this movie so far has got 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think personally it should be a little bit higher, but you know, that's just my opinion.
Okay.
But you know what, guys? Let's get into it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Pulp Fiction. How can I explain this movie in the easiest way possible through Quentin Tarantino's mind?
It's a scatterbrained film with 4 stories, and
so it's based off of 4 main characters, which is kind of like a henchman, a boxer, a gangster, and a wife, like his wife
chick.
and his wife. Yeah, that's what it's based off of, and it's kind of like this movie is meant to be all over the place. It's not supposed to start from beginning to end. It's supposed to tell you the stories, and it ends in certain ways. And Quentin Tarantino does that a lot, actually, in a lot of his films.
Actually,
especially
if you look at the writing, sorry to interrupt you, Ben. I know I do that a lot. It's very scatterbrained and it's very fast paced, and there's a lot of dialogue. And that's how you describe Quentin Tarantino.
And that's the thing. Like, I think if you see behind us, another great movie that he made was Django.
Mm-hmm.
I think back in the days, in the 90s, when he started making those movies, that's how the movies were. It wasn't really like from beginning to end. It was kind of like, let me show you hints of stuff intertwined, and maybe show you the ending mid of the movie. Let me show you and that's what I loved about him. His writing is amazing. The cinematography of this movie is amazing. The music's amazing. And of course, the cast. The cast is just beautiful. This is where Samuel L. Jackson personally was at his prime. Nowadays, it's just over.
Stop selling credit cards.
It's overflowing with Samuel L. Jackson, and that's the thing. He plays Julius Weinfeld, and his partner Vince Vega, which is played by John Travolta. They're the henchmen of Marcellus, which is played by Ving Rhames. Sorry about all the names. There's just a lot of characters in this film.
There's a lot of characters in this movie.
And it starts off kind of like their story. They're going to go get something for him, which is in a suitcase, which if you've known this movie, if you've seen this movie, nobody knows what it is to this day. There's been
I know what it is.
There's a lot of rumors and hints, but nobody really knows. There's no real notices. And when that happens, that's how the movie doesn't even start there. That's the thing. It starts at a diner through another event that's happening there. But the point of this is the event of them getting that suitcase towards him. That's their story.
Point A to point B, right?
Exactly. And a lot of things happen. You know, people get killed, they get robbed, they come through like epiphanies and miracles and all this. And they just give you such joyful characters in like the most hardcore badass way.
Right.
Samuel L. Jackson gives you this character of he's like a hardcore, you know, faithful man, but he'll shoot you in the face if you give him shit.
Yeah, you don't want to rub this guy the wrong way at all.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I really loved about it. I think that's where Samuel L. Jackson really brought that character to me. It was something where you had like that good person in him, but that bad stuff. And then John Travolta, on the other hand, was more of a kind of a laid back dude.
He was very Rico Suave. He was very smooth. He was trying to get into Mia Wallace's pants, played by the great Uma Thurman.
Which he kind of wasn't. Like, that's the thing.
Well, yeah, he was giving himself pep talks on what to do in the mirror, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because Uma Thurman was actually Marcellus's wife, and you don't want to mess with the boss's wife and stuff.
But that's always the thing that you want the most of the things you're not supposed to have.
Exactly.
Right?
It's kind of like sins. Like in this movie, you see a lot of things that you really don't want or want to do or want to think. And that's what I really loved about it. It's something where it gave me all of these stories, but they made sense to me somehow. Everything fit together. Bruce Willis, he was Butch, which was kind of like a con man.
And it was actually very surprised, like hidden figure, because it wasn't credited when it first came out in the 90s.
Yeah, because if you really look at the posters and everything, you don't see Bruce Willis. You see Quentin Tarantino, you see Samuel L. Jackson, John Travolta. But I personally think, and I think Anthony does too, that was one of the better stories. Yeah. Butch's story was really good. It gave you Bruce Willis as Bruce Willis. He's just a badass guy, and he's a badass character, but he gets involved in shady stuff. I don't know if technically he's kind of like the bad guy at the same time, because he kind of screwed over Marcellus in the movie.
Yeah, and this is where the whole Pulp Fiction comes in. The fact that it's just these crazy stories that are intertwined, that are just like do you believe them or not? But you know what? You're on a ride that you're just like, I don't want to get off this ride. I want to see where this ends. And you get to see the progression of Vince and Jules from like these badass tough guys to the end, where they kind of like, should we be doing this still? Like, are we?
Well, one of them was.
One of them was.
And that's the thing. They give you this like harsh.
And we don't want to spoil anything.
Exactly. Like we do recommend seeing, and I know a lot of people that have never seen this movie.
But it's a long.
It is. It's almost 3 hours long. But I think it's worth it. I personally think it's worth it.
It's a hallmark of movies. Like if you love movie the way we do, you really have to see this film.
And it's one thing that kind of like my girlfriend told me, you need to be in the mood to watch his movies. Quentin Tarantino's movies can get chatty sometimes, can kind of like drag a scene. Like the last 15 minutes is literally two people talking.
Yeah.
Like that's all it is. And that's the thing. Like it's something where you really need to be in the mood. But I think overall, like his writing's amazing. Yeah. His cinematography is amazing. Little kind of Easter egg. There's a scene where they saw a Band-Aid on the back of Marcellus' neck. That wasn't supposed to be in the film.
No?
He actually cut himself while he was shaving.
I thought it was very comic book kind of ish. I don't know. It reminded me of Luke Cage in a way.
He thought that as they were recording. He actually cut himself while shaving. So that wasn't a prop. That was actually real. That. But he thought this will show you that.
Well, the way the scene is shot, it looks really, really well. And they're focusing it on the Band-Aid. So I thought it was supposed to be there.
And the good thing is right now it's actually on Amazon. And if you go on Amazon and watch this, and Netflix as well, on Amazon specifically, they actually give you little Easter eggs, that things that happen in the movie. So as I was watching the movie, I was reading it. And the thing is, I watched this 20, 30 times already because I love this film.
You can?
I can. I love this film.
4 or 5 times.
I love this film. And the first time I watched it, I was very young. I didn't understand half of the stuff was going on. All I saw was blood, violence, and I thought it was cool. It. Exactly. But that's the thing. I know we sound like we're all over the place, but it's because this movie is that. This movie is all over the place. It's like you get a bunch of paint and you just throw it on a canvas. And
look how happy you are. This movie just like, if you really want to sit down and enjoy a good movie on the weekend, grab a beer or hang out with your boys, this is the movie to watch.
This is the movie to go. And like you said, this is something you do have to watch. And the good thing is, right now, it's actually available to everybody.
And money talks. It was made for $8 million. It's now at 213. And
so there you go, guys. So you know what? Go catch that movie.
And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and fury.
Alright guys, so I know the review was a little bit all over the place. I'm sorry about that, but it's because this movie's all over the place.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to spoil the movie just in case anybody hasn't seen the movie still. And those people that have seen it know why we don't want to spoil it. There's scenes in this movie that are just very crucial to why this movie's so good. Right. And because of that, personally, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. I love this film. Quentin Tarantino's mind is amazing. His writing was amazing. The acting, the cast, the cinematography, everything is just beautiful to me. And this is one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time.
For me, I give this movie a 9. Excuse me, only because if you watch it repeatedly, it kind of loses its charm. But if you've never seen this film, you really should sit down, invest the 3 hours, and you're going to be in for a great ride.
Yeah, guys. So in the comments down below, let us know what you guys thought of Pulp Fiction if you've seen it, or if you're going to go watch it. Also, let us know your favorite Quentin Tarantino movie. There's Reservoir Dogs, Django. There's a bunch of films out there.
Glorious Bastards.
Yeah, so let us know in the comments down below.
Don't forget to share this video. We're on Tumblr, we're on Facebook, Instagram, and we also tweet sometimes.
Yeah, there's links down below if you guys want to click on those. All right, guys, don't forget to give us a like on the video if you guys like the review. And also, guys, don't forget to subscribe for more awesome reviews. All right, guys, have a good one.